Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe out there. Today I thought it'd be fun to do a little sit down video and share my experience going to an art school. Because I didn't really pursue a traditional career path, I definitely know that there's not a lot of resources out there for people who may be interested in going into advertising or design or art direction, whatever it is. So hopefully this video is helpful. But before we get started, if you don't already know, my name is Kim Win and this is my YouTube channel where I document my life. Also, I want to add a little disclaimer that this is my personal experience, and so if it doesn't relate to you, if you didn't have the same experience, I mean, that's fine, to each their own, but this is my story, so let's go. Also, I prepared a bunch of questions on my computer, so let's do this. What college did you attend? So I attended I'm laughing because, well, you're about to hear. So I attended the Art Institute of California, Orange County, which is now closed. So there's that. And as for my degree, I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Advertising, a BS. How did you end up choosing that college and major? I feel pretty lucky because early on I kind of knew what I wanted to do already, and I owe it all to, and I'm about to date myself, but I owe it all to MySpace and Zynga. Because back in the day, it was really cool to have edited photos, like edited profile photos. So because of that, I learned Photoshop so I could edit my photos. And then in Zynga, it was really cool to have custom layouts. But in order to have a custom layout, you had to know how to code. So because of that, I pretty much went out and taught myself how to code, and I went out and taught myself how to use Photoshop. And because of that, I kind of dove into the design world of it all. And when I went to high school, I took all of the, I guess you'd call them digital art classes. I took photography, I took all 4 years of graphic design, and I took all 4 years of web design. So I was really close to all my art instructors, and they were really helpful in, one, getting me a job. I used to be a designer at a sign shop for real estate companies. I ended up becoming their marketing director, so there's that. But they also brought in the Art Institute to talk to us about a career in the arts, and so that's how I learned about the Art Institute. And I had done some digging on what I wanted to actually be when I grew up, what was my actual title that I would want to achieve, and it ended up being a creative director in advertising. It was a really exciting career path that I just fell in love with. And the Art Institute had an advertising program, so it kind of felt perfect. How did your parents take you going to art school? Not well at all. I could literally do an entire hour-long video about understanding Asian parents and how to get through them not accepting your career path. If that at all interests you, leave a comment below because I have plenty of hands-on experience with that. It was not easy telling my parents about art school. It was not easy going to art school with them not approving, and it was definitely not easy having a career path in the arts. All the pain is literally rushing back to me right now. So during the whole college process, my parents, like most Asian parents, had pushed for me to be in the medical industry, and they were really big on going to UC schools and applying and doing that. But I knew exactly what I wanted to be. I was planning to be a creative director in advertising. I knew what school I needed to go to. I knew what agencies I needed to work for. I literally had figured out my 5-10 year plan as a 13-year-old in high school. I literally knew from the get-go what I wanted to do. So it was really hard to tell my parents that I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do because I didn't want to disappoint them. That led to me pretty much keeping the whole college process a secret. So I pretty much told them I was going into psychology, which they didn't really understand what that was, but they knew that it was something in the medical industry. And so I told them I was going to psychology, which wasn't a complete lie, because I was thinking about figuring out a way to minor in psychology, because with advertising, it's pretty much the study of human beings and understanding them and knowing how to communicate with them. So I knew that psychology would be beneficial to my career in the arts. So pretty much what happened from there, on May 2nd, oh my God, the fact that I remember May 2nd just shows like it was a rough time. Anyways, May 2nd, I won a scholarship to the Art Institute, and it was a lot of money. And I knew that I would have to pay my way through college because obviously my parents weren't gonna accept my career path. So I pretty much made the decision then to go to art school and go to the Art Institute and take the scholarship. And so when we went home that day, I remember sitting my parents down and I was bawling. I was literally in tears. I hadn't said anything. I was just literally crying. I couldn't get out the words. And they thought I was pregnant. And I was like, I'm not pregnant. And they're like, what's wrong? What could possibly be wrong that you're crying so much? And I was like, I just want to go to college. It was literally the hardest conversation I ever had with my parents, because they couldn't understand the fact that I had no backup plan. I didn't apply to any of those UC schools. I wasn't majoring in psychology like they had thought. I literally had no backup plan. I was literally going to the Art Institute whether they liked it or not, and I was moving away. And so it was definitely really, really hard. And till this day, I think they still don't really understand what I do, but they have gotten better at understanding and accepting that I am happy with what I want to do. So yeah, if you're interested in knowing more about that, leave a comment below. What was your favorite thing about going to art school? I loved going to art school. The concept of art school is just, there were classes that, like, example, my favorite class was type 3, and everybody was super competitive, but we all loved each other and we all helped each other out. And so we were always pushing each other to be better. And it was just fun to like think outside the box and then constantly push ourselves to be better as creatives. And that's just not what you really get to do in a regular traditional school. So that's what I loved. What did you hate the most about art school? I don't know if I really hated anything about it, but I was sad that it wasn't like a traditional college. So I didn't really get to experience like dorm life or college parties or like frats and stuff. Not that I would care for those things, but it would be nice to have as an option. Also, the other thing about the Art Institute was that it definitely catered to a lot of older people, mainly people who had already gone through an entire career and then were coming back to pursue art. And so being like 17 and 18 and having friends that were like 35 and 40, it was definitely really hard to like hang out after school because they'd be going home to their wives and their husbands and hanging out with their kids and stuff. And so as much as that is perfectly fine, because love them, still friends with all of them, it was definitely different because we were all at different levels in our lives, I guess you could say. So that was kind of sad. Did going to college help you in your career? This is a tough one because I don't want to say you don't need to go to college, because there definitely is a lot of benefits to going to college. But I will say I know a lot of people who did go to college and are not successful at all. And then I know people who didn't go to college and are extremely successful. It's really dependent on the person, I think, and the path that they're going on. Personally, for me, the benefit of college was networking. So I networked my butt off, especially during my like senior year. I was pretty involved in college, and so I knew everybody, and I think that really helped me a lot because my first internship and my first job and a ton of freelance jobs after that was all through networking. So students that I had known had recommended me, teachers I had known had offered me positions for freelance gigs. So that was definitely what was gold for me for college. Do you have any regrets with college? If so, what would you have done differently? Honestly, I know I shouldn't have any regrets, but if I could do something differently, I probably would have gone to a different art school. I think there's a lot of art schools out there that have way better reputations, and so I probably would have done some more research and had gone to a different art school, mainly because I just kind of learned about a lot of art schools from coworkers and stuff, and it just seemed like such a different experience. They definitely learned a lot of different things than I did, and I would have loved taking their classes instead of the ones I took. So that is what I would change if I could. What advice do you have for students interested in going to art school? Do it. Do it. Honestly, if you have the chance to go to art school, go. If it's the right fit for you, it's literally amazing. I feel like for anybody who is really creative, going to a school that is tailored to creatives is just amazing. Also, networking is so important, especially in this industry, because I can't tell you enough how much I've benefited from networking. I mean, I've said it before, a few of the jobs I'd gotten coming out of college was all from students and all from instructors. And even now, I still recommend a lot of people that I went to school with for positions in my company because I just remember their work ethic being amazing. And even if they reach out to me and ask for a recommendation, I'll give it to them if I really believe in them. And more likely than not, those resumes are the ones that are seen because they are coming from an in-house recommendation. So network, it's so important. So one other thing I want to touch on is money. So when I was in college, I was like a peer mentor and an ambassador to incoming students. And a lot of students and parents would ask me, is art school worth the money? And art school is very expensive. As most colleges are, it can cost up to $200,000 to go into art school and more. And this is what I tell them. Every school is going to have instructors, it's going to have equipment, it's going to have resources, it's going to give you opportunities to network. Every college is going to do that. But it's what you make of it. And it's how much you invest in your education. It's how much you put into your work. It's how much you are willing to be involved in your college and network and get to know more people. So it's literally what you make out of it, and I would recommend going if that is what you want to do. So that's all the questions that I have prepared. If you have any other questions, leave a comment below. Maybe I can do like a follow-up video to this and answer anything that I may have missed. Lastly, I just want to say congratulations to all of these students who are graduating this year, both from college and both from high school, especially my little brother. Big claps, big claps. Congratulations to my little brother. I'm so proud of him. He got accepted to his dream college and he is going to become a teacher one day. Such a good kid. Such a good kid. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye. My chair keeps creaking.